Good morning, everyone. I'm Council President Randy Duffy, and I'd like to welcome you all to New Milford. And if you would, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I would like to just say that I am here to introduce Josh Gottheimer, our congressman, who has always proven his commitment to New Milford, whether he be consoling one of our families touched by terrorism, helping our fire department acquire grant money for much needed apparatus, and of course his consistent and constant support of our great New Milford Police Department. So at this moment, I would like to introduce our PBA local president, Sam Gerace. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, Congressman. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you. Appreciate it. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Congressman, Josh Gottheimer, and his team for being here today and their continued support in law enforcement, especially in the New Milford Police Department. It's a pleasure to stand alongside of you, New Jersey State PBA President Pat Colligan, and the Bergen County Conference to take the necessary steps towards providing our local law enforcement agencies with the tools needed to perform the stressful duties officers face on a daily basis. On behalf of New Milford Police Department and PBA Local 83, I would like to express our gratitude for consistently having our backs. With your support, we can do what we do day in and day out. We appreciate your consideration, and with these additional resources, the New Milford Police Department, under the direction of the Chief Brian Clancy, will continue to proudly serve and protect the community of New Milford. Thank you. I would like to introduce to you New Jersey State President Pat Colligan.
Thanks so much. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. I first can't ignore the fact that Josh likes to pick either the coldest day of the year, not today, or the hottest day of the year. It's a perfect reputation he's got going. Look, here in the 5th District, we had a hole for years. Josh took over several years ago, and I got to say the unwavering support to law enforcement has really been a breath of fresh air. The issue, we have two issues today. The first is the Invest to Protect bill. The Invest to Protect bill will close the gap from the COPS grants, the federal COPS grants, that often only recognize the largest police departments. I work in an agency with 110 officers. We've always had budget crises. We consistently spent a lot of time applying for COPS grants, and we never got them. A lot of time and effort, and we were just in that hole of not big enough and made a little bit too much, our budget was a little bit too high. So this Invest to Protect will take care of agencies here like New Milford, like most of Bergen County, like my agency down in Somerset County, and all those other agencies that struggle to put a good police budget together. So we applaud Congressman Gottheimer for really tirelessly moving this legislation forward, helping us help NAPO get the amount of sponsors that we needed, and getting this soon over the finish line. We appreciate his hard work. Again, if you're looking for a tireless advocate who wants to text you at 11 o'clock at night or 5 in the morning, he's over my right shoulder. And while we're on the topic, the New Jersey State PBA traditionally supports the congresspeople who support New Jersey law enforcement. And I am proud today to endorse, on behalf of the New Jersey State PBA in the 5th District, Congressman Josh Gottheimer for Congress. Thank you. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce our Congressman, Josh Gottheimer. Thanks.
Thank you so much. It is true, Pat, that we were going to try to make it a little hotter for you today. We were working on it because I know you love it. Thank you so much, Council President, local PBA President, Sam Drace, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your leadership here and all you do. There's the whole department, everyone. I know the chief's not here, but what you all do, our officers, every single day to protect our communities, I can't thank you enough. I'm just beyond humbled and honored to be standing with all of you and New Jersey's finest, the men and women of our New Jersey State PBA who get up every day and look out for us. Pat, thank you for your years of friendship. You've literally been with me from the beginning, you and Mark. I know you got a huge job helping represent 33,000 officers every single day. You do a phenomenal job. You really look out for everyone. You're unwavering in your commitment and dedication to the people you represent. And it speaks volumes why you have such deep respect from so many people across our state. And I don't like to admit this publicly, but Pat and Mark have also been very deep counselors to me and my office, giving us good advice, making sure that we do our job as effectively as possible every single day. So I can't express enough just how honored and humbled I am to receive the formal endorsement from New Jersey State PBA. In Congress since day one, I've fought for our law enforcement officers and all first responders who serve our communities, because for me, it boils down to this. We should always get the backs of those who have our backs. So since day one, I asked to join the Bipartisan Law Enforcement Caucus as just one way I could show you in Jersey that I would do everything I could in Congress to help protect you and our communities. And that even in the face of so many who don't understand the sacrifices you make, know that I do. Know that the council president does. We get it. Because let's be honest, it's not easy being in law enforcement these days. For far too many don't appreciate or recognize that when you wake up every single morning and you put on a vest like you have today, kiss your husbands and wives and children goodbye, and head into a volatile, uncertain, and at times a very dangerous world. You never know who's going to be behind the wheel of the next car you pull over, or who might be waiting behind the door you respond to. What gang member, terrorist, or criminal is lurking at the next call. Every day you are on the front lines, chasing a stolen vehicle, responding to a deadly opioid epidemic, grappling with extremists and hate crimes, all while battling day-to-day a pandemic. This is the norm for our law enforcement. They put on a badge every day and bravely serve without any hesitation. You do it so that all of us, our children and families, can live safely. You are the people we call when we need help in our communities here, which makes Bergen County such a beautiful, wonderful place to live here in the 5th District. You're the people who work day and night to keep us free of crime and danger. And you do this in the midst of a surge in crime. The 2021 murder rate in the United States was estimated to be nearly as high as it was 25 years ago. We had a surge just nearby in New York of murder. Overall, our numbers are up 27% in 2020. Last year in Jersey, there were more than 14,000 reported stolen vehicles. As of May this year, there's a 37% increase in auto thefts compared to May last year. You just get a sense of day-to-day what you're responding to, all those calls, and you reach out to the community. You're a part of the community, right? Just this week, with National Night Out, right? You're there, you're talking to people, you're building relationships, and I know the community trusts you. That's character, that's courage, that's leadership, and that's what true heroism is all about. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate you and thank you for what you do. And it's the same way here in Bergen County, in Sussex County, in Warren County, Passaic County. You spend your days preparing for the worst so that we can enjoy the best. In our schools that are safe, in our homes that are safe, in our places of worship, in our streets that are safe. That's why, for me, the answer is never to weaken, shortchange, or defund law enforcement. We should instead be funding our police and investing in the training and resources our local enforcement need to do their jobs as safely and effectively as possible to protect themselves and to protect us. To help recruit the very best, to support community policing efforts, and to use every tool at our disposal and every arrow in our quiver to fight crime and to fight terror. That's what you do every single day. And it's one of the core reasons I asked Pat to make the drive here today, because I know he loves driving to Bergen County, right, and standing in this brisk August heat. To continue our joint push to pass, I'm hoping as soon as next week, the Bipartisan Invest and Protect Act that I introduced with former Sheriff and Florida Congressman John Rutherford. The Invest and Protect Act, which now has vast bipartisan support from Democrats and Republicans, helps our smaller departments like New Milford and those in my district invest in de-escalation, domestic violence response training, mental health resources for officers, body cameras and storage, and recruitment and retention of officers. Because let's face it, training is very expensive, especially for our cash-strapped smaller towns. So are mental health services, and it's tough to recruit and keep officers on the job these days, and you want the very best. We saw New Jersey State police applicants drop from between 15,000 and 20,000 to just about 2,000 qualified applicants last year, an historic drop. Part of this is because, let's face it, when you pull somebody over and they spit at you, right, and treat you like that, right, and when every day you actually put on a vest to look out for us and people treat you like that, I can't imagine how much stress it adds to what's already a stressful job. In the House, we currently have 84 co-sponsors, Democrats and Republicans, on the Invest and Protect Act. It's been endorsed by NAPO, National Association of Police Organizations, who've been a very close advisor and counselor throughout this whole process. The National Fraternal Order of Police, the National Sheriff's Association, the National Troopers Coalition, New Jersey State Troopers Fraternal Association, New Jersey State Police Benevolent Association, and the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. This week, Invest and Protect's bipartisan companion bill, which was introduced after our bill in the Senate, passed the Senate unanimously. Not a single no vote. It's a very big deal, and it's a lot of thanks to this guy behind me. And you imagine, right now in the Senate, and it's not exactly everyone gets along. So getting literally no one to vote no is a big deal. And just this last week, we made great progress in our efforts in the House to get our bill to the floor for a vote, and we'll continue pressing ahead to get it done, even in the face of some who just don't get it. I'm working day and night with our partners in Congress, House leadership, and law enforcement unions to get Invest and Protect to the floor for a vote ASAP, including working very closely with my co-sponsor of the bill, Sheriff Rutherford, who, as I mentioned, is a Republican from Florida. We've got a lot of Republicans supporting this legislation as well. We started working on this bill more than a year ago through bipartisan talks with Democrats and Republicans from all over the country, in the House and the Senate. The Bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus, which I co-chair, 58 Democrats and Republicans, we backed it. We worked with the unions. We got them on board. And then week after week in our discussions, we realized one thing that came out very early in our conversations. And I remember talking to Pat about this, right? That you got smaller departments, as Pat said, that literally they can't get the cops grants, they can't get the resources, but they need the help. I know the council president knows it's expensive. You got to invest. If you cut something to the bone, you get nothing. You get weak product. We need to invest always in our law enforcement to keep these communities safe that we love. It's why we love our state so much, to make sure it's safe, but you got to put resources in. And the smaller departments, fewer than 200, really get the short end of the stick. 95% of the U.S. police departments have under 200 sworn officers, right? And that's literally every department in my district, fewer than 200. What's important to me is that Invest and Protect was developed through conversations with law enforcement, our communities, especially in Jersey. And again, Pat and Mark Kovar and the entire New Jersey State PBA was really there helping us craft this. Without their work and other unions in New Jersey, other support from them, and counsel and support without NAPO and others, this bill wouldn't be where it is today. As New York City's Mayor Adams said, who was a police captain, he said, "I don't subscribe to the belief of some that we can only have justice and not public safety. We can have them both." To me, that's exactly the right approach. There's nothing partisan about this. This is about Democrats and Republicans who just love their communities and love their families. There's nothing that should be a partisan issue about this. It's just what's good for Jersey. It's what's good for America. It's about protecting our cops and protecting our communities, and it lives up to what our Jersey values are. We've made a lot of progress fighting for those. When I got to Congress, we fought for, and I supported, one of the first bills I supported was the Thin Blue Line legislation, which, even though it was against the grain of my own party, because if someone murders a police officer in cold blood, they should get the death penalty, period, end of story. I've also fought for cops grants and the Burn Jag program for our communities, to claw back resources to fight terror and extremism, including right just a few feet from here, I introduced the bipartisan Darren Drake Act, named after New Milford's own Darren Drake, to help stop ISIS-inspired terrorists from using trucks as weapons of mass destruction. Working with our mayors and our police departments, our fire departments, EMS, we're up 112% in what we're getting back to New Jersey from Washington, here to the 5th District, including more than $3.5 million of surplus equipment to strengthen our departments through LISO grants in 2020. that helps protect our communities and lower property taxes. I was also proud to co-sponsor and support the Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant Program that was signed into law, and the Public Safety Officer's pandemic response to have the backs of the men and women who kept us safe and healthy at the height of the pandemic. Under the problem solvers, I also helped lead passage of the Never Forget the Heroes Act to permanently invest in the September 11th Victim Compensation Fund. The bottom line, with Pat watching me and others watching us, we made sure that we were always there every step of the way to keep our community safe and protect the future we want for our families. Because again, you don't get strong departments by cutting it to the bone. You need to invest, not to fund. I will say that over and over and over again because some people out there just don't get it. So I want to thank you again, the PBA, New Jersey, local PBA, for this enormous honor. Thank you to everyone who's joined us today. Council President, thank you. Thanks to the officers for what you do every single day to look out for us. I'm grateful for your support and for what you do and for the work ahead. I know takes grueling work what you do, countless sacrifices, missed birthdays and missed celebrations, all you do behind the scenes. But rest assured, there's many of us who appreciate you very much. Now let's get back to work, get the Invest to Protect legislation across the finish line, and remember that we live in the greatest country in the world, bar none. Right? Greatest country. If we work together, our best days will always be ahead of us. Thank you. God bless our great country. God bless our troops. And God bless all of you. Thank you. Thanks.